And we are live, everyone. Hello, America. The doors are wide open and ready for you to virtually come in and be a part of the conversation with us tonight. Thank you for joining us here at Gay Town Hall, bringing LGBTQ voices into the discussion and debate and advertising you with America's most diverse group of personalities from the LGBTQ community in history. I am your moderator, David Quiñones, also known as the Social Club Butterfly. I serve as the executive director of my own personal nonprofit organization, GVSC, Gay Vista Social Club, here building friendships across South Florida, as well as the director of community and business outreach here at Happening Out Television Network. Because if it's happening in the LGBTQ world, it is happening out. We here at Gay Town Hall want you to join the conversation with us live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. as we broadcast to you on Facebook and YouTube, and start following us on our newest platforms, Twitter and LinkedIn. Let's get tonight's discussion and debate started, America, here on Thursday, March 18th. Welcome, everybody, to Gay Town Hall. All right, so I'm thrilled to welcome Gay Town Hall's lead host for tonight's conversation. He is a flight attendant by trade. He has a bachelor's of science in business management with a focus in entrepreneurship from the University of Central Florida. In addition to being a flight attendant, he is in the process of developing an app that will cure the frustrations of ordering at restaurants with the goal of curing the hangry pandemic. He also began his career in commenting and will be producing his own YouTube channel called With Cory, where he will give his perspective on a wide range of topics coming soon. The man of leisure that he is, he enjoys going to the beach, the nude beach, boating, eating out, traveling, and having a cocktail. He enjoys a spirited debate, which he likes to call Journeys of Truth, and he holds a fictitious doctorate degree from the University of Google. I want one of those. His worst attributes are he has an unhealthy obsession with chelated magnesium. Don't get him started on that. And his best attributes are his mouth in more ways than one. Wink, wink. So please welcome Gay Town Hall's lead host, the real houseboy of Fort Lauderdale. And here is his proper introduction.
I don't steal husbands. I take what I want and I leave the rest. In a city full of bottoms, someone has to be on top. All gays don't think the same, until I open my mouth. You may call me a whore, but at least I'm not non-profit. In life, clothing is always optional.
All right, so it wasn't my imagination. There was something big in that. It's the eggplant, of course. So let's please welcome our lead host for tonight, the real houseboy of Fort Lauderdale. Let's please welcome Cory Gordon. Hey, Cory.
Hey, how's it going?
Did we catch you at a bad time?
Oh, you did? How
you
you guys doing tonight?
Good. So, I'm wearing pink, I'm representing, the Miami side of things, and you're representing the Fort Lauderdale side of things. So what makes you a real house boy of Fort Lauderdale? And tell us a little bit about yourself, and what's this whole thing about magnesium I hear about? And he froze. Let's just take a moment to take this in. Okay. Really? Miami's the best city. Okay, perfect. All right, well, while we're waiting for Cory to come back, let's go ahead and meet some of our other hosts really quick. So For tonight's show, we're going to start the show off the way that we do with every week, and that is with our top voices of the week. So it's time to kick Gay Town Hall off with our segment that we like to call What's on Your Mind. So in just 30 seconds. Oh, and did Cory come back? Cory, are you back?
Hey, okay, I can see you now. No, it's so
I was
funny. I
having a whole-
have
I
the
was
cable
having a whole
plugged in, I have my
conversation.
Wi-Fi working, and I'm still having issues.
I was having a whole conversation with you, and you said Miami's the best, Miami's perfect, Miami's this,
Hold
Miami's that.
on.
So tell us a little bit about what makes you the real houseboy of Fort Lauderdale, and what's up with this magnesium thing you talk about.
Hold on, I'm still having issues. Give me a second.
Okay, so while Cory is figuring that out, let's go ahead and start bringing our other host in. So please tell us, what is on your mind in just 30 seconds. And based on our theme tonight of the Real Housewives franchise, what would your personal tagline be? So up first, we have our professional contrarian and lawyer. Let's please welcome Brian to the stage. Hey, Brian.
Hey, all. How's everyone doing?
Good. So tell us what's on your mind this week.
So this week, I've actually been reflecting on how happy I am that we actually live in Florida and how we're actually, I think, dealing with the pandemic and opening up very well. So I'm actually very proud of Florida. I'm happy to see things going well, new businesses coming in, people coming to live here permanently, escaping the North. And then with respect to, I guess, my Real Housewives tagline, I'm going to have to go with the gender neutral term for sugar daddy is glucose guardian. So come and get you some diabetes.
That's good.
Oh, so you like a sweet tooth and you want to give a cavity to somebody.
I'll try.
All right, I could see it. The Real Housewives of Palm Beach. Could it happen, you think, possibly?
Oh, definitely. Oh gosh, it would be very entertaining.
Could it happen, you think, possibly? All right, so now let's welcome our next host. They are our hedonists and philanthropists here. Let's please welcome David Hopkins. Hey, David. Where'd you go? There you are.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
How's it going? So, what's on my mind? Charity. I'm a charity officer. It's tough to have events right now, need money. I also have a new travel show starting soon, happening on That Travel. And my tagline is, hey, boys, want to play with my joystick?
I love that.
So is there a particular game that they would be playing with this joystick?
Well, if they're looking, they can always join me on Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
Is that a video game?
It is.
Ooh.
All right. Good to know about Dream Daddy. All right. Up next, we have our non-culture identity from Sawmill Camp and Resort. Let's please welcome John Holt. Hey, John.
Hi, everybody. What's on my mind tonight is the hate crimes in Atlanta and the consequences of irresponsible politicians. So that's not good. But my tagline, my Housewives tagline is, call Kenny Loggins, bitches, because with me, we're headed into the danger zone.
Ooh, so instead of danger, Will Robinson, danger, John Holt, danger. That's the part you laugh. Okay. Up next, we have our Asian gay pop star. Let's please welcome Randy Boo. Let's see what he's wearing for us tonight. Oh, he's looking real butch today. Hey, Randy.
Hey guys, how
Hey,
are you
Randy.
guys? What's on my mind is stop Asian hate. It's not cool. Stop hate in general.
Yes.
And just love one another. My tagline would be like, stop Asian hate. Denver, worldwide. That's it.
All righty then. So no other tagline. That's it. Stop Asian hate.
That'll be my tagline for now because it's pretty impacting the Asian community right now.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Up next, we have our actor and our drama queen. Let's please welcome Rossaroni Perez. Hey, Rossaroni.
Hey!
That's Rennie.
Hey, hey.
That wasn't word. Sorry. Let's see. What's on my mind is if you put coffee on one side of a ring and tea on the other, which one would win, and why would it be coffee? And my tagline is, "I thought this was The Voice." That is all. Thank you.
And how would you do it? Would you do a hair flip to the left? Would you do a hair flip to the right when you said that?
It would probably go to the right, and it would be, it would look like this. Precisely that.
All right, so America, you heard it. He flips it to the right. Perfect. All right, so we have one of our newest guest hosts with us, and tonight I am happy to welcome them to Gay Town Hall. So they are a queer woman from San Francisco, currently living with her partner, 2 dogs, and a cat. She's a virtual game show host, digital marketer, and an occasional go-go dancer. Let's please welcome the wonderful Marie Brand. Hey, Marie, what's up?
You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I know. Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again. I'm really excited to be here. So what am I thinking about? Well, I'm really excited because that little stimmy landed in my bank account yesterday. Woo! And I'm excited. I asked Joe and Joe answered. So in light of that, I think my tagline would be, now that I've got my $1,400, call me maybe, but don't call me broke. That would be my tagline. So I don't know. Yay!
I hear a Grammy knocking at the door. Maybe,
possibly. Call me maybe.
Grammy's at the door. Gotta help her in.
All right. So thank you for sharing what's on your mind. Let's give a round of applause for everybody that's here. Our other guest host is trying to make their way in. The power of Wi-Fi, but the show must go on. So let's get this show on the road. All right. So here on Gay Town Hall, you may have questions, and we definitely want to hear and see your answers. We want you, our social media viewing audience, to let your voice be heard and weigh in on what we're talking about. It's time for our weekly Gay Town poll. So all of our hosts have casted their votes already in. For our viewers watching to cast your vote in, click on the link that is posted in tonight's episode and submit your answers. Later, before the end of the show, we will share the results virtually on the screen and show who the winner is. So make sure you cast your votes in now. So tonight's Gay Town poll is, what is the best rated and favorite American Real Housewives franchise? Choices are Atlanta, Beverly Hills, Dallas, DC, Miami, New Jersey, New York, Orange County, Potomac, and Salt Lake City. So what does everybody think? What city is the number one?
They all look the same.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills and Potomac.
Right.
I mean, I've met the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and they were terrible, so it's probably the best rated.
You meant the old edition or the new edition?
The old one, I would guess, because this was years ago.
Yeah.
But Atlanta and New Jersey are the most memeable. So
I've never seen
They
it.
are.
I've watched
They
the show
are.
like once ever, and I know who Nene Leakes is. Okay, like everyone knows her. That's about it.
Yeah, you don't mess with Nene Leakes, that's for sure. So, all right, so make sure you guys stay tuned. If you're watching, place your votes in, and we're gonna find out at the end of the show which city prevails for the Real Housewives. So we're gonna get this show going. So today's LGBT topics of the week deal with the theme of our upcoming franchise, The Real Houseboys of Fort Lauderdale. Our first topic is lifestyle and cultural, and tonight we're going to do episodes. So our first episode of The Real Houseboys is episode 1. I don't steal husbands. I take what I want, and I leave the rest. And with that, we're going to have Cory read and take us through our first topic of the night. So Cory, take it away.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing, so I'm going back and forth on YouTube and the script. So in the gay community, there's a lot of fluidity in relationships. A lot of people enter in open relationships, thruples, polyamory, or flat out cheat on their spouses. I've been personally studying the concept of ethical non-monogamy, where it separates relationships into love stories and life partners. A love story is a powerful connection between two people for a period of time, and a life partner is a person that you share your life with, but they are not necessarily a love story. Do people stay too long in relationships? Is it time to reimagine the concept of relationships?
All righty, so we're gonna do this reunion style. So we're gonna give everybody 30 seconds around the room, and then you guys can get catty and duke it out for the next 5 minutes. So with that, we're gonna have Marie kick us off first. So Marie,
I was pouring my glass of wine. Okay, great.
Always valid
you gotta
excuse, by the
throw
way.
it.
Speaking
So
of great relationships, my boo just brought this for me. You know, ask and you shall receive. I love that. So
All right. So episode 1, I don't steal husbands or wives. I take what I want and I leave the rest. So do people stay in long relationships? And it is time to reimagine the concept of relationship. Ready and go.
I don't know that we need to reimagine. I think we need to revisit. I think there have always been different types of relationships. I think polyamory, monogamy, thruples, whatever, those have always existed. These are the type of relationships that have always existed. What I think we need to start doing is respecting where people feel safe, respecting what type of relationship they want to have, and putting more value in their happiness and what they've been able to create for themselves. You know, we're not redefining family, we're just valuing what people see as family and relationships. So I don't think people say if you're in a good, am I time up? Oh, bye.
All right. The next houseboy, Rossaroni, 30 seconds. Go.
Oh shit. Let's see. I've only ever been in one relationship, and it was a year, and it was a year too long. So I think people, if they stay in relationships, they stay for the wrong reasons. And if the relationship is not working, then kill it. I didn't have anything else planned to say, so we're just going to fill it up with just random singing. I climbed. You better cut me off. I'm going to keep going.
All right. John, go.
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Well, I like your concept of a love story versus a life partner. That's interesting. But I think that, at least for men, I think two men can love each other for life. I think you can find a life partner. It's difficult. And I think since times are much easier back in the old days, when times are harder, you kept your partner and you put up with things that might not be perfect because you needed a life partner that you could trust. Now things are easier and people seem to throw away relationships, over nothing. So we need to come to where we value what a partner brings besides just sex. I mean, there's a lot of other things. So yeah, I think valuing is the right way to go there.
All right, houseboy Randy, what you got for us?
I think it's all in the level of understanding your own partner. It does if your partner is comfortable with being open or whatnot, then if you're okay with it, then that should be their thing. They could be open, and if your partner doesn't want to be open and want to be more exclusive, then that's up to whoever you're dating. And I feel like if you care about someone, you'll adjust towards what the person wants, just to kind of meet halfway. But any relationship, it could be in any situation.
All right. How's Daddy David?
So yeah, relationships come in every shape, size, flavor, and I think too many people try to compare them with other relationships. You can have friendly romantic relationships that are non-sexual. You can have romantic relationships that are sexual. You can have sexual relationships that aren't romantic. And I think being aware of what you are getting out of the relationship and what the other person thinks they're getting out of the relationship is all that matters.
All right. Other house daddy, Brian.
So I think in modern times, especially gay men, it's important to navigate and set your rules before you even enter into a relationship, so you don't have to navigate that later. I think it's important for everyone to be free to do what they want as long as there's full consent. And I think that in the gay community, there's friction between those who want a more traditional heteronormative monogamous type setup and those who want, the New Deal, open relationships and things like that. But I think it's perfectly okay to do whatever you want as long as everybody knows what they want from the onset and there's consent.
All right, so that was our quick rapid fire round. So now you guys can duke it out true housewife style. So anybody have opposing views, opinions, wants to dig deep? I'm Andy Cohen, your host here. So let's get this going.
Well, I would love to hear from people about a life partner. I hear about all these different kinds of relationships. Some are romantic, some are sexual. But is there any value in having a long-term life partner? What do people think?
Well, I am.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I love monogamy. It's what's best suited for me. It's what makes me feel happy. It makes me feel safe. I'm a Taurus. I need to feel comfortable. I want to feel at home with someone. So I can respect and value different types of relationship and still have a very traditional idea of what I want, and because that's what makes me feel best. I don't think they have to compete. I think we have to give space for everyone to say, this is what suits me, this is what's important to me, and this is what I am going to do. And if you can find a partner or partners that want the same thing, then there we go. That's what's most valuable. It's me.
So yeah, I do think. Go ahead.
And
Randy.
being in a relationship, it's important because each relationship you jump in, if it's a short relationship, if it's a long-term relationship, it's a lesson that we discover something about us and about everything else from, being woken up from the awareness of whatever happened in the relationship. Kind of helps us open up our mind a little bit. I feel like so it's important for us to have relationships or whatever sorts it is.
I do think that having somebody long-term in your life is extremely good, especially if it's somebody who compliments you and makes your life better. I think the problem is people get in comfort zones and they stay with people just because it's nice and they're used to it. And that's where you get a lot of the issues. And again, it's about knowing what you want out of the relationship, what the other person wants out of the relationship, and having conversations, because that changes over time too, even. So, you have to be aware of what you want in life in general, and sometimes you find that doesn't happen.
So it's interesting though. So there's this concept of there's a saying that says people are married 3 times in their life, and oftentimes that all 3 times is married to the same person. So in our one life, we have multiple heirs. And sometimes sometimes your marriage has already ended because you live 3 lives in one life. But in our one life, you say till death do us part, but people mistake death for actually like not breathing. But when sometimes death is just you are in a different era of your life and you guys are just no longer compatible.
Girl, that last relationship died after 3 dates.
My current relationship isn't doing well. I've been seeing my left hand for about 3 years. We're actually seeing other people. It's very strange. We're confused.
And by people, you mean the digits, the fingers.
Other people, well, the hand goes out sometimes and doesn't come back until like 3 a.m. in the morning. So I don't know what happens there.
So Russell, because I know the fans love you and they want you to find that love. For you, what's the perfect solution for you? Is it monogamy? Is it an open relationship? Is it a throuple?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I've only ever known monogamy. I'm open to the idea. I mean, I guess it just depends on the person. And what Brian was saying, as long as consent is there, I suppose there would be no problem. I think one of the biggest fears that people have in relationships is that they lose their identity with the person.
Because you sacrifice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You do. No, you're right. You sacrifice a lot of things. I as a person, I cannot have too much of a routine. If I get into a routine, I start to dwindle and just kind of like wake up in the morning and just like, good morning, here I am.
So for me personally, like the most important relationship you should ever have is yourself first. You should always put yourself first. I don't believe this whole concept of other half. I believe in finding another whole because I'm another whole person, and I want you to take care of yourself first. So that way, when you come back to me, you are like 100%. You know what I mean?
And once again, it comes back to coming to holes.
So Brian, is it true? Is every hole a goal?
Every hole.
I live in Wilton Manors. Do you know how long that would take? I don't know. It's like in West Palm, but Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's a whole nother ball game down there. But the purpose, I think, of a relationship is to be a team, and I think that to build something together. So I'm only used to long relationships. That's all I've ever had in my life. And to me, it's not hard to commit to someone and want to build something and move forward with them. It's just you always have to be careful about getting bored, and that's the thing. Is if you get bored, it dies, and that's to me the hardest part of being in a relationship. But I think it's imperative if you want a long-term relationship, you have to separate, the passion, that fuzzy feeling when you meet someone new, and then also the long-term goal of what is your goal with this person, and it's to build something. That's how I.
And for you, what do you think keeps the spark alive for you as an individual?
New experiences of all types. You got to you can't just settle into
holes.
Maybe.
Randy, are you
No, because you guys were saying it earlier, so I wanted to use that.
If that's, it's
Randy is available for bookings.
So can I ask you, Brian? So what was the ending of your relationship? So you guys just got bored with each other, or did you guys stop growing, or you guys grew apart?
I'm a very special case. I've only had 2 relationships in my life.
Yeah.
One was with a woman in college, and that was 4 years. And my current relationship is like 18 years. So, and
okay.
So.
Are you not bored?
All right. So, final thoughts, Cory, on topic number 1. No, final thoughts.
Oh no, I'm trying. Oh no, can you repeat that, please? I
was saying your final thoughts on topic number 1.
I went out again. Hold on, I'm gonna stop my cam for better service. So I'm sorry, what were we saying?
Your final thoughts.
My final thought. I kind of really appreciate everybody's comments when it came to the relationship aspect, because you know what it is. The first thing in a relationship, the most important relationship is you have with yourself. So if you're not good with yourself, you can't give yourself to other people. But you also need to be extremely honest with yourself and another person of where you stand. So for me, it's not mutual consent. Whenever I'm dating somebody, I tell them I want to be open, and it's not necessarily like I want to see if I can find somebody else. It's more of like I want to be in tune with myself to know that if this is working or not. And oftentimes we find ourselves sacrificing sexually or even emotionally when that person that we're currently with is not. Our love story is done. You know what I mean? Our love story is lasted way too longer than it should have. So that's where I stand. That's my final thought.
All right. So let's give it up for episode 1. I don't steal husbands. I take what I want and I leave the rest. Feel free to take that back home to your man or woman and see what happens after that. So, all right, let's keep this party going. So we're going to have a little bit of fun on our next segment. It's going to provide a few laughs and even some good side commentary. If it's happening in the news, if it's hot off the press and out is the new in, then it's time for our happening out headlines. So for today's breaking news story, here is what was reported. Cory Gordon has just been cast as the first ever Real Houseboy of Fort Lauderdale. Woo! Bravo TV, currently run by gay legend Andy Cohen, is supported by our community, but felt there was a need for an all-gay ensemble-based reality show. That's not the A-word. By our community, but felt there was a need for an all-gay ensemble-based reality show. That's not the A-word. We got an echo. So as part of this OG cast, Cory has to develop an opening tagline to say on the show. But what should it be? Well, you guys get to decide. So finish today's headline. Cory Gordon has just been cast as the first ever Real Houseboy of Fort Lauderdale. Bravo TV felt there was a need for an all-gay ensemble-based reality show, and Cory's Real Houseboy tagline has been announced as blank. All right, so go ahead, take a few seconds to write down your happening out headlines. Raise your hand when you guys are done. We're going to find out who has the best one, and Cory will pick the one at the end. All right, so David looks like he's ready to go, so we're going to go around the room. So, David, what would Cory's Real Houseboy of Fort Lauderdale tagline be?
Power bottoms assemble.
Oh.
I can't. What can-
The joke's on him. All right. Is there a costume that goes with this? Will he be wearing a certain outfit?
Well, he said he's a top, so all he has to do is walk around in public down here.
Okay.
I'm actually versed, but we'll take that.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. What would his Real Houseboy of Fort Lauderdale tagline be?
I'm a real piece of work. A little work here, a little work there.
Is there anywhere particular he's had a nip or something?
But I got someone if anyone needs a recommendation. I'll let you know after the show.
All right. Randy,
Palm Beach, right?
what you got for our Fort Lauderdale houseboy tagline?
BBC and the boy, Fort Lauderdale. That's all I could see.
That sounds like something from the
BBC and a
travel
boy
tourism
Fort Lauderdale.
board.
Sounds like a Craigslist ad.
Randy's gonna print bumper stickers. They're gonna be all around the city. The show is gonna pick up. It's
New campaign from Hello Sunny.
grassroots marketing. All right, John, what's gonna be our Real Houseboy of Fort Lauderdale tagline for Cory?
Well, he works in the airline industry, so I fly high and I come down hard, bitches.
Ooh, I like that one.
Whoa. And there's gonna be like a little wind in the commercial. He's gonna be like pushing against the wind. Okay, fair enough. Rossaroni.
I have two. I hope you don't mind.
Oh,
First one is I don't come in bed, I come for bitches.
Ooh, I like that
And magnesium can fix everything except your face.
And it's just a picture of Cory with a fist up in the air for both of them, actually.
No, it's a fist, but it's holding like a giant bottle of magnesium.
Chelated magnesium.
Yeah, it has to be chelated. It can't be oxide.
All right, Marie,
I
tell
guess
us
it's
what's
my
Cory's
turn.
tagline.
I kind of went with the same theme that John did. If you want to fly my friendly skies, you better be flying first class. That's
Ooh.
Oh, that's good. That's
So
good.
Cory be bougie. He be bougie, first class.
I think.
treatment.
Well, there you
All right,
go.
so Cory, before you choose a winner, what would your personal
So
tagline be?
I'm actually gonna go with the last one. I like the last three. I like the I fly high. I think it was John's. What was it, John?
I fly high and I come down hard, bitches.
Actually, you win. I fly high, and I come down hard.
John,
This is like that Miss Universe moment.
Yes, you win. Where's my eggplant?
Wait, it was like Marie, and the winner is Marie. No, wait. I'm sorry, wrong one. John.
Oh.
It's Columbia.
So
But I
what
really like
would
the first class one though. That was good.
if you came up with a tagline, what would it be, Cory?
You can't hear again?
You can't hear us again?
Nope. Okay, I can hear it now. I can hear it again now. Okay.
No, I was saying, what
What were you
tagline
saying?
would you
Sorry.
pick if you were coming up with your own tagline?
Okay, now I can hear it again. Hold on. Can you repeat what you're saying? I'm
I was saying-
on my phone on YouTube listening to this. Hold on. Can you repeat what you're saying? I'm on my phone on YouTube listening to this.
All right.
So meta.
We heard it in spirit. All right. Round of applause.
That's the joys of having a live show.
I know, right? Like I have a cord. I got a cord and everything, and it's still not working for me.
Okay, so our Real Housewife tagline for Cory is get that Ethernet cable when the Wi-Fi goes down. There we go. All right, let's give it up for our winner, John Holt, everybody. All right.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I got an Ethernet cable. I think I need to switch to AT&T.
Oh, hell no.
All right, so let's keep the program moving. My favorite segment of the night. It's time to get our LGBTQ community members involved in the conversation with us here tonight on Gay Town Hall. And they're going to submit their videos to ask our alive question of the day. So I do a pretty good job when I surprise our guests with what their question is. Every week, the surprise question is submitted specifically chosen for and directed towards our guests. So today's special guest host will then be invited to participate in a future episode of Gay Town Hall. So for today, let's see what our question is for Cory. So Cory, I hope you can hear the question and enjoy. Some of you guys may or may not know this special guest.
Hi, Gay Town Hall. Amber Taylor here, advocate for the assertive, aggressive, and bitchy woman. I'm a mother of 2. I've been a real estate agent here in the Wilton Manors area, the gayest place on earth, for the past 10 years. I'm also a vocalist for Airwaves to Heaven, a Led Zeppelin cover band here in South Florida. Please check us out. This is not easy to talk about, but Cory and I have been through quite a bit together. And as many of you know, I did lose an ex-girlfriend to suicide. Cory has been one of my biggest advocates, no matter how many different things I take on. Raising a family, being in a band, being the realtor that I am, being the strong woman that I am, he allows me to argue with him, state my opinion, and he still loves me at the end of the day. I love this man for his compassion, and I see how much he's been through and how many similar experiences he's been through. And I want to ask you today, Cory, what do you think needs to change about the way we handle mental health crisis in this country and around the world? And how do you think we can beat the stigma associated with mental health diseases? That's all. Thank you, guys.
Miss Amber Taylor rocking her new pink hair.
So how we could beat the stigma for mental health issues is just by even talking about it. Like, I'm very vocal about my past, what happened with my ex-boyfriend, about my own personal past. And the problem is, in the gay community, we have not everybody's mentally ill, as in bipolar or schizophrenic. We have personality disorders, and personality disorders are onset by negative experiences that happen in your childhood, for the most part, or just in general, something traumatic that can happen in your life. So there's like 3 types of personality disorders. There is narcissistic personality disorder. There's borderline personality disorders. There's histrionic personality disorder, and what they all have in common is they all come from a traumatic place. So first, we need to educate people on what's going on and let people understand why they react a certain way, or why somebody else reacts a certain way, and then we need to take the proper steps and proper therapy in order to deal with that problem. And also take some chelated magnesium. I don't think a lot of people know that. So they did a study a few years ago where they measured the alkaline metals in a place where they had low suicide. I think it's like the Nordic countries and the United States. And what they found out was that there was a huge depletion of alkaline metals such as B12 and magnesium in those places that had low suicide rates. In the United States, we have no magnesium in our water at all. And if you look up the side effects of magnesium, it is depression, suicidal ideation, anxiety, cramps. And on top of that, we're a bunch of alcoholics in this country, and alcohol actually depletes your magnesium level. So a few weeks ago, I started supplementing with magnesium, and I'll tell you this: I do not have any headaches. I do not have any headaches, and I wake up happy after a night of drinking. So there just needs to be a lot more education of what's going on.
All right. Aren't you happy I got your girl rocking her new pink hair, Cory? What you think of your little surprise? All right. Aren't you happy I got your girl rocking her new pink hair, Cory?
I love her. I love Amber. Thank you so much. That was a surprise. I almost started crying.
See, if he loves Amber, that means he loves me, and we love your echo, Cory. We love your echo.
Mute, Cory. Mute.
You love my echo.
Mute, Cory. Mute.
It's either it goes in with you guys, or there's a 2 second, or then I have to like listen to this, and it's a 2 second delay. So give me a moment.
We're gonna mute Cory for a few seconds, and we're gonna unmute him again. All right, perfect. Cory will be right back after this short commercial break. All right, we love you, Amber. Amber's doing her gig tonight, so make sure if you get a chance, go and support Amber and her rocking it out endeavors. All right, so now we're at our second LGBT topic of the week. Category is business and political, and we're at episode 2. All gays don't think the same until I open my mouth. And with that, we're going to turn it over to Cory, who's going to talk to us about topic episode number 2. So, Cory, take it away.
Okay, perfect. So, all gays don't think the same unless I open my mouth. So oftentimes we say gay people don't think the same, and we're not a monolith. However, we get into the conversation shaming members in our community and branding them as traitors for thinking differently. How does the LGBTQ community accept different perspectives?
All right, so topic episode number 2. And we're going to mute Cory again. All right, so how do we accept different perspectives? You can look at this from business, you can look at this from politics, you can look at this from life. How do we learn to accept other people's opinions and not get into fights and arguments and want to kill each other? So we're going to go around and do our 30 seconds of calm, uninterrupted, and then you guys can hash it out. So let's go ahead and start with Brian. Brian, hit it.
The gay community does not accept opposing viewpoints. And I think that's just something that the community needs to confront. I wasn't on the show last week, but I understand one of the topics was, what do we do about these traitors that damage the community? And are they still part of the community? So the fact that there were people defining the community for others who are necessarily part of the community shows that the conversation isn't even being had about good opinions versus bad opinions and confronting the foundations of what is a safe opinion or a good opinion in the community versus one that is not. So I don't think that the community is very open outside.
All right, David, take it away.
I am an overweight 40-year-old fetish daddy who's also a total video game nerd.
You have
I
a
love
fetish?
watching Disney cartoons and animes, so everyone hates me. But that being said, because I don't fit into any one specific niche, I have always just been friendly for everybody. And I find that I think when people get too comfortable with groups of people who are just like them, that's when they start to exclude. And that's where a lot of it comes from in the community. You know, being gay, it's so hard through your whole life to find people who are like you, that once you come out as gay, you start finding people who are exactly like you. And that becomes as much of an issue as being alone. So, you know, it's really about balance and looking at people as friends outside of your normal circle. And, you know, everyone doesn't have to look like somebody you want to sleep with or someone you necessarily think you're going to have everything in common with for you to be friends with them.
All right. Marie, talk to us about different perspectives.
This one, I don't know. Like, we are not a monolith. Yeah, clearly, like, my experience as a Black queer woman is not going to be the same as, you know, as someone else's. But I think as a community, we have a right to talk or not talk to who we want to talk to. We have a right to exclude people we want to exclude to. If your beliefs don't serve our interests, and I know that sounds so horrible, but you know, if you're somebody who is fighting against the self-interest of my community, sure, you may be one of us, but I don't have to sit next to you in the lunchroom. I don't have, you know, I think it's not a nice thing to say, but it happens. I think there's space for everybody, but I think we all have our spaces, a place that we can feel safe. And if it's not on the bigger, you know, in the bigger forums, then it's all whatever.
All right, Randy Boo, give us your perspective on perspectives.
I feel like it's all just in the level of how deep they've themselves as a person to know that, you know, we can, if that words and our thoughts have power, that they would be more aware of what they do and say to others, because a simple word can destroy a person's life, or, you know, and also can make a person's life happier. So we just got to be wise of what we say and do, and lack of just having an open mind about what other people say about us and what not to let it affect us.
All right, Rassaroni.
I have noticed when having like a one-on-one conversation with maybe a random queer stranger and whatever, if you disagree with something, it's been very respectful. I've never really encountered much of that unless it's online. or somebody says something online, or somebody says something that's been aired somewhere, that's how all of a sudden becomes offensive. I'm like, okay, but what's the difference between online and being in person, you know?
Because they're hiding behind the screen, so to speak.
Correct. Yes. Instead of talking it out like adults, you know, I feel like our generation, and hopefully not the next one, has seen to lost a level of communication which isn't there, and the ability to talk things out and disagree. I have close friends and we disagree on a daily basis, but we are so close, you know.
Got it. Mr. Holt.
I will try to get as much as I can in this 30 seconds. Number one, the concept of a gay community still boggles my mind. I don't necessarily think that's true. Remember, LGBTQ started out as a political movement, and I think in some ways it really is a political movement. And so if your politics goes against the LGBTQ politics, we can certainly exclude you because you're not headed in the same direction we are. Secondly, the polarization that's taken place in society has absolutely affected gay people, and we're polarized. And I can certainly understand conservatism, and I can understand the points of it, and I can accept that. And I can understand liberalism, classic liberalism, and the points of that. But the far left and the far right and Trumpism, they boggle my mind, and I can't believe that there's any community who would want to bring that into themselves.
All right, so let's open it up for 5 minutes of open forum. So obviously, even here on Gay Town Hall, I know I took over kind of in the middle of changing the format and stuff. There's even been huge divisions on this show when it comes to just being able to accept, you know, can people be friends after something is said? Can people be friends if a decision is made and a line is drawn in the sand? So let's continue the conversation. Who else wants to jump in?
So I think a perfect example of this in recent memory was Winter Party Miami last year. COVID was new. People were starting to get cautious, but it was very last minute for them. They continued on with the event. People died. Now a lot of people who went to the event are getting shamed everywhere, or have been for the past year, rather. And it's Winter Party is a fun party, and a lot of people are like, oh, the circuit queens put everybody at risk. But you know what? Winter Party also raises millions of dollars for charity every year. It's a fun event for a good cause. But the two sides don't want to have a discussion about that. People, especially in pandemic, when they've been locked in their houses, have become, like Rossaroni said, you know, they're all keyboard Karens. You know, I don't have to talk to you in person, so I'm just going to drag you online. And it's ridiculous and childish and stupid.
All right, who else wants to?
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with your point. So I actually brought up this topic because of what happened last week in our discussion when the question was framed, how do we forgive people that voted for Trump or the walkaway community? And I voted for Trump. And I thought that was very condescending to me, and actually was extremely rude, just because what's going on is you guys are, when it comes to politics, it's just not one size fits all. There's many different things there's many different issues that both sides have that they take stances on. I'm an independent. I'm a pragmatic. I don't agree with everything on every side, but for me, for my bottom line, it's economics. So at this point, I'd rather vote Republican because they keep the bureaucracy down. Because right now, what we're seeing with the whole COVID situation is a bunch of people are leaving these blue states for economic reasons, and they're flooding the red states, Texas and Florida. So I'm voting for economic reasons, but just because I'm voting for economic reasons does not mean I'm against Christianity and the zealots of the Christians. Because you also have to remember, the black people, the black Christian churches that voted for Joe Biden or that vote Democrat, they don't like us either. I was abused by the black Christian church. So for anybody to tell me that complaining my vote for the Republican Party as a traitor, like that's completely rude. And I stand by what I say. I stand by what I say, not how you interpret me.
So in his real houseboy tone, I said what I said.
Sorry, there's like a delay now.
Can I respond to John as well?
Go right.
The concept, I understand what he was talking about. I don't like extremism. But when people talk about you're making policies or you're voting for people who are going against the community, or you're not looking at our interests, it's a little more complicated than that, because I think as long as we agree that there are problems in the community, any community in the country, the approach to get to the solution is where the bitch is, right? That's where the disagreement is. So I might say, this is what we need to do to fix this problem with my community, this issue, and you come at it from a different perspective. It doesn't mean if I vote for someone who you consider to not line up with your values or you don't like the solution I have, it doesn't mean that I don't care about or I'm working against you. I just have a different path to get to the solution that I think needs to be in place to fix the problems that face our community and our country in general.
So Marie from West Coast, look at I saw you ready. I saw you ready.
I said, but I'm also allowed to. I don't have to interact or socialize with people who vote for things that harm me. And I think I get to stay safe. I get to value my safe spaces. If you are somebody who is, we could talk about policy, but at the end of the day, if the policy that you support also means that you have to put up someone who is not working in my best interest, what do we have to talk about? Like, if you don't care about my humanity in the way that I care about my humanity, then honestly, we're just coming from different morals. Like, we have different, it's individuals as opposed to the community. It's, left versus right, whatever it is, where it's just, we have different, what's important to me obviously isn't what's valuable to you. And to me, it's the greater interest of our broader community. And also taking into account that means something different for me as a Black woman than a white man. So it's intersectional. And if you can't get those complexities, if you don't care about that nuance, and you don't care about how those policies that might affect some people really well, but are going to hurt me and all of the things,
So you're more about the overall value, Marie, than maybe the economy and education. Like, you're about the overall value.
But I think we have this idea that those are mutually exclusive, and I don't believe that they are. I think that you can have a robust economy and take care of the people and take care of the lowest, the least of us. So.
Well, that's interesting. So we have three branches of government. We have the judicial branch, we have the legislative branch, and we have the executive branch. So one thing people need to understand is we didn't get the right to marry from the left or the right. We got the right to marry from lawyers. So just because I can vote for a policy, I can vote for a person, and I can disagree with the policy, whatever, if it's unconstitutional or it's impeding my right or it's infringing my right, I can sue them. And I can sue them, and I can take it off. I can take it up in the judicial branch. So it's like, for me, I don't know. For me, it's more of like, I feel like we need to stop shaming, and we actually need to try to understand why the other person is right. Like I said in the beginning, like, I don't have conversations. I don't have debates. I'm not trying to prove myself right. I want a journey to the truth, because you know what it is? There is one truth, and we both have our own truth based on our perspective, but there is one truth, and we need to be able to reach the other side and understand why a person might think the way they think, or why they are voting for the way they vote. And we should not be prejudiced and put our preconceived notions onto them.
Okay. Well, are we shaming or holding people accountable?
I want to step in and defend my point of view here.
All right, quick 30 seconds. Okay,
all right. Personally, as a person, I can see all these different kinds of points of view, and and I don't hate people for the way they vote, and I don't exclude them. But what we were talking about was the LGBT community, which, again, I don't think it's a community. I think it's a political movement. And so if you're voting in contrary to the LGBTQ political movement, then we don't have to include you in the LGBTQ political movement. We decide how we vote and what that vote means, right? And if you decide to go a different way, that's wonderful. And I don't hate you personally. I think I love diversity of political thought, and I love the discussion. But from an LGBTQ perspective, you are a traitor to our politics, period.
Who's we?
But how do you know what policies I support?
You
don't know what policies I support. You haven't sat down with me to understand what policies I support. So for you, so the thing
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm open to all that.
The thing is, the LGBTQ political. You're right. There's the communities. There's a political movement, and there's also just a function of being LGBTQ. So you don't understand the policies that I support and I'm against on both sides. So you're pretty much calling me a traitor personally is kind of like a prejudice, and it's a stereotype instead of actually just sitting down and like we can go policy by policy and you can see why I support it or why I'm against it and how we can like go forward. But the thing is, when we start shaming people, when we start saying to people, "Oh, you're a traitor," or how do we let these people back in our community? And you guys don't even try to understand why they voted, or even if you understand, you still put your prejudice against me for the way I voted based off of like your own thing.
It's not a prejudice. Again, it's not a prejudice. It's not, because I'm glad to sit down with you and understand how you vote, and I don't mind how you vote. I personally think you should vote however you want and whatever you think is more important. As the LGBT community politics, though, a vote for Trump is anti-LGBTQ, period. There's no way around that.
Okay, question. What did Trump do against the LGBTQ community that was so bad? Can you please tell me?
We're gonna hone this in, Cory. Your final thought.
I'm sorry. Like
we're at the 15 minutes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so we're gonna hone this in.
This was getting interesting. I was gonna move to popcorn.
I know.
I'm back.
Cory, you got one final thought. Go.
Oh God.
Final thought.
Oh.
Cory, no. Okay.
Oh, my one final thought. Okay. Shoot, what was my one final thought? The thing is, we need to stop attacking each other. We need to actually sit down and understand why someone votes the way they vote. Because the thing is, when we start throwing out words, when we start like saying, "Oh, you are this, you are that," how dare you do this, without actually sitting down and understanding why they voted for the way they vote. Because the thing is, two people can be right in a conversation. You're just arguing different things. So that's just what it is. I mean, I'm a flight attendant. We say in the airline industry, put your mask on first during decompression before you help somebody else. I need to make sure I am good before I can fight off all the Christian zealots that I'm totally against.
All right. And with that, everybody say love.
Love.
Oh, that was sweet. Ryan, can I get an amen up in here?
Amen.
All right, now let the music play. Randy, strip. Okay. Anyways, round of applause.
All you have to do is look at
round of applause for topic number 2. I gave extra 5 minutes because it was getting hot. It was getting saucy. All right, now let's have a little bit of fun, and I know you guys are really gonna love this. So you guys think you know Cory, but let's see if you actually do. So who likes, in honor of Amber, who likes the big D? Who likes the big D? Anybody?
I think everybody.
I know. Rassaroni likes a small D. We've been through this.
Moderate
size.
Average.
All right. So this is our segment: Gay Mortal Kombat, battle versus size versus matter, facts versus fake news, lead host versus host. This is a one-on-one discussion or debate, but at the end of this, you will have to make a decision and tell us why. So prepare to clear out the virtual room for our next game segment we like to call the Big D. All right, so all of our hosts is going to get 3 minutes to discuss and or debate a specific category, but ultimately must make a decision on their answer choices together and explain why. Afterwards, I'm going to bring our lead host back into the room to see if you guys made the right decision. We're going to find out who's the weakest link, and we're going to find out if you may be asked to join the cast of the Real Housewives of Fort Lauderdale or not. So now we're going to really test you guys on your housewife trivia. So everyone say goodbye to Cory. Cory's going to go backstage. Bye.
Bye, Cory.
All right, so while Cory goes backstage and enjoys a complimentary cocktail provided by himself, tonight's Big D game asks, on this season of the Real Housewives of Fort Lauderdale, which sheen would Cory cause? So it's dramatic. Is he going to smack somebody in the face? Is he going to flip a table? You guys are going to have to figure out what thing he does. And Cory, make sure you're backstage. I hope you hear me. Keep track of which answer you're going to do, and we're going to see how well they know you. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. 1 second. Who likes the Real Housewives? Maybe. Tough crowd. We're going to pretend. We're going to pretend that we love our Real Housewives. All right.
Oh my God. Did you see like the new episode of Housewives? They're just like so amazing.
Exactly. Good job, Rossaroni. I could always count on
you.
All right. So let's get The big D. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. This is a multimedia presentation, so hopefully everything works out good. All right, so here we go. Let's have Marie. You got a paper and a pen? Can you keep track of the answers?
Yeah, of course. You know, the only female on there. You want me to be the secretary?
Oh,
Let's see how it is. All
No,
right.
because last time John Holt was doing it, we had a miscommunication and all of John's answers.
No. I get it. No. Sure.
If you had asked me, I would have just been over here drawing cows.
Yeah, Brony would have counted with it. All right, here we go, guys. The big D. So the Real Housewives of Miami already exists, but now let's find out on this season of the Real Housewives of Fort Lauderdale, which scene would Cory cause? So I'm going to show you a little clip of some of the drama that's happened, and you're going to see if it's option A or option B. So scene number 1, Atlanta. So do you think Cory would say, I'm a rich bitch? Or would Cory say, who gonna check me, boo? Let's see what Nene had to say in Atlanta.
Understand is while you were running your mouth with him, I was running to the bank, sweetie. And depositing a check, honey, Donald Trump. Yeah, the one you laughed at. I am rich. I don't need anything from you. You are the one that's losing houses and cars. Honey, you are the one losing houses and cars. I don't need to sit there because it's a bunch of BS.
All right, so that was I'm a
God.
rich bitch cashing my Trump check.
Can we get the
Or is he number
transcript of
2?
that?
This doesn't work. This is my event. You deal with me or you deal with no one.
How about I don't want to deal with you?
Okay, then you need to take your event and your attitude and be checked outside. You don't need a reality check.
No, you need a reality check.
Okay.
You don't have the connections, honey. It's peach.
Are you crazy? Google me and do my resume.
You need to get your face out my face.
You need to watch yourself before you get checked.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Still a classic. Still a
I'm going to say
classic.
Cory, so who's going to check me, boo?
All right, so you guys think Cory would be situation 1 or he gonna be situation number 2?
Well,
Situation 2.
I would say 1 because he just talked about, he likes the economic policies of the Trump era, and I believe Nene is saying that she also likes.
I literally couldn't even understand what they were saying.
It basically comes down to I'm a rich bitch or who gonna check me, boo? All right, so now let's go to scene number 2.
Oh, did we decide on the last?
Yeah, really? What did we decide?
Did you decide?
No.
I go for 1 too.
David, you watching the show?
Let's get a vote.
You gotta pick this quick.
I am very rich
Video
bitch.
1.
I am very rich bitch. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
rich bitch.
You know, she has a
1.
good point. I'm going to go with number 1.
Number 1.
All
Okay.
right, number 1.
Scene number 2, New Jersey. Do we think Cory would scream and point in someone's face or scream and flip a table?
Oh.
My favorite scene ever.
Go with 1 already.
So this
She
is
needs to
John
loosen
Holt.
her cocktail dress.
This is John Holt when they tell him the bar is closed, a cigar bar. Do not mess with my drink. All right.
Hey,
or is
Ty's
it
not here. It's his birthday.
Obviously, there has to be something else.
Flip the table.
Ah.
Invention.
All right. So which one is it? Is he gonna
can
do
do both.
scene 1 or scene 2?
Prostitution.
You can do both.
I say scene 1, and I don't know, but can you hear the construction going on inside my house? I'm sorry. Scene 1 because he's a flight attendant, right? So this is probably the kind of scenario he's used to. Just getting this close, but not putting his
I
finger.
would flip that drink
Yeah.
trolley if I were a flight attendant.
Oh, 100%. If you're on TV, you're flipping a table. I've always wanted to do that.
I mean, what would Jesus do?
All right,
Obviously,
final
he'd
answer.
flip the
Final
table.
answer.
The table it is. There we
Table.
go.
All right. Number 3. Now he's going to.
Obviously.
All right. So number 3. He's going to Beverly Hills. Is he going to throw a glass across the table or is he going to throw a tantrum and storm out?
Said Yolanda, I've lost 2 brother-in-laws. My husband has only been sober for 3 years.
Oh, wait, excuse me. Did you just say let's talk about the husband? Let's not talk about what you don't want to help.
Oh, yeah. I know this one.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Don't you ever don't touch my husband. Just say. Don't you ever.
You don't want out for everybody to know. You better watch what you talk about me or everybody will know.
Never.
Everybody will know.
My husband.
Everybody will know.
You understand
Oh.
that?
Everybody will
Oh my
know.
God.
Everybody will know what you don't want.
So this is what happened. This was video clip of Ty's birthday over the weekend.
Oh, I love Lisa Rinna. Oh, she's so crazy.
Nobody
All right.
talks about my husband.
The next scene is David Hopkins at Ramrod.
I didn't think the cameras would pick up by the pool table.
I want you later.
After this commercial.
After they had.
You literally had to wait 20 years until you could
That's
see
the
it.
Hobbit. Or the Hobbit?
Can I just say the first one was so much less dramatic without so much the cat across the table from her?
That's funny.
It's not okay for you to treat me the way you do. I'm sick and tired of you walking all over me and using me as your fucking scapegoat. Wow, okay. That is something. I'm not kidding at all. And you know that. I don't get this, Matt. Eden, I told you I did nothing but there for you. Nothing. To try to heal you. I haven't asked you to be there for me. Oh, really? When you were having problems with then I did. And then so when it's okay for you to want me to be there for you, then I'll be there for you. You're really upset. For you, yeah, I am. You are really upset. But for you to be there for me, God forbid.
All right. Would he throw the glass across the table? Don't you talk about my husband. Or would he throw a tantrum? I was there for you. And storm out
I
of the
can
party.
totally see Cory throwing the tantrum and then just showing up to the next bar like nothing happened.
I don't know.
Final answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd like to think people are glass of wine.
I feel. I'd say the second one.
I think he'll throw the glass, then throw a tantrum.
Yeah. You would say both? I think that's
right.
perfect.
Final answer?
Both, right?
Yeah, both.
You gotta choose one. Choose one.
Okay, glass across the table.
Yeah.
He likes the flare? Okay, all right.
David,
All right.
you don't have to
Number
love
4.
one of your kids. You can love both your kids.
Scene 4, Dallas, Texas. Would he say something to your face or would he talk behind your back? And just so you know the context, her face was painted as Two-Face because she was saying, oh, the other girl was Two-Face and she dressed up as her. So that's
Did like the producers were like, wow, all these women look terrible together.
Now this next one, if anybody ever does this in Wilton Manors, run away. This is behind a closet door.
How much fun she's gonna make it with that? Why is it so important to Carrie to come for me all the time? Because I'm gonna do something. She's gonna come for me one day, and it isn't gonna be pretty. Her husband gets his something in the ground. I know what he's gonna do. I had to grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth and grew up with a lot of things in my hands. They're not knives. They're just hands.
This is what Brian say all the time. I don't have knives, they're just hands, and they work quite well all the time.
I don't have knife hands. These are
lethal weapons.
All right, so would Cory say it to your face, or he'd be sneaking up behind the closet door and talking that shit?
He'd say it to your face.
To your face.
Yeah.
I think
it's like Craig Jungworth shit.
But more importantly, what was the name of that club? The Roundup in Dallas?
The Roundup.
Write that one down.
They're gonna show you a good time. They're gonna show you a good time, Brian. All right, last city on the tour. New York City. Now, would Cory kick guests out of his house, or would he slam something to prove his point?
Is there a leg?
Hey, look, your car's right there. It's right there. My mother bought this weekend.
Don't
My
yell.
mother bought this
I don't need
weekend.
another person yelling at me.
Don't say that.
You can talk about me. You can talk about my house. You can talk about my decorations. But do not mess with Diane Sincala's birthday cake. When it comes to my mother, you don't go there.
Don't say my non-birthday
That is a
birthday. It's not
Publix
my
birthday
birthday.
cake.
My mother bought this on Saturday. So don't say that. I think everybody's acting very poorly. I put in a big effort here.
I agree.
And this is my home.
I agree.
And I made a conscious choice not to invite Sonia so we could all have a good time.
I agree. So get your.
And I think it's a disgrace of you people.
Okay, Dorinda.
You know what? You go
We're
to a
sorry.
place, you
We're sorry.
hold your face to yourself.
We're sorry. We have to
I
shut our
cooked all day. I decorated. I did it nice. I'm ashamed. If no one can behave themselves, then you all go home. I give you permission. All go home because I decorated, I cooked, I made it nice.
For anyone who's been to my events, that would happen if they tried me. Now, let's find out why Rossaroni's leg is laying on the floor.
My mother bought this weekend.
Can you mute the
My
cake?
mother bought this weekend.
That you have never lied to any of us at the table, and you find us really hurtful. I find that laughable.
Well, let me tell you something, Heather. The only thing, keep it together, Aviva. The only thing that is artificial or fake about me.
She has been waiting to use that line the entire
Yeah. She saved that one up for
And I'm telling you, that face made
Let me tell
more
you,
face
that was
than
the
legs,
end,
but
the
still.
final episode of the season, and it made record headlines. So, would he kick us out of his house, or he would slam something to prove his point?
The
Corey would totally throw his leg
Yeah,
on the
number
table.
Why wouldn't you do it? Like if you had the chance, I'm throwing my leg.
God, if I had a prosthetic body part, I'd be like,
If I had a prosthetic leg and a prosthetic arm, I would switch them just to mess with people.
He would throw one of his legs down?
Yes.
All right, so Corey's having a good time backstage. We're going to zip through this real quick to see. So, Corey, you got your answers written?
Okay, perfect. So, so for Atlanta, so it's kind of funny.
Wait. All right, so answer one for the team. What did you guys pick?
Oh, I'm very rich, bitch.
Okay, so it's kind of funny though, because it's actually both. So most likely I'll be like, who's gonna check me boo if I'm in like a discussion or whatever, or argument. But I've had to use a few times I am very rich bitch. Specifically one time in the parking lot of Hunter, somebody called me the N-word. And I looked at them and I'm like, okay, so I'm the N-word, then what does that make you? What does that make you? You're poor, bitch, you're poor. And then that guy got so mad at me. He got so mad at me that he was trying to fight me because I was calling him poor, So I'll say both for that one.
I feel like
All right,
you
so
can guess who it was.
All right, so New Jersey, what did you guys say? Point in someone's face and scream, or scream and flip a table?
I believe it said scream and flip a table, right?
All right, what is it, Corey?
Okay, so the old Cory would scream and flip a table, but I got stabbed 2 years ago at Gay Pride. So I'm not that aggressive anymore. I'll just scream and point in your face, and you will definitely, if you go out with me, there comes a point in time where if somebody crosses me, I will scream and point in their face.
But what if you have a camera pointing at you? You'd scream and flip a table, though, right? I would. Camera.
If I'm on the Real Houseboy of Fort Lauderdale, obviously I'm gonna flip the damn table just for like the ratings. I need to keep that check. But I'm more of a screaming point in there somebody's face. But I don't know. People are scared of me.
All right. Next up is, come on, Beverly Hills. Would he throw a glass across the table, or throw a tantrum and storm out? What say you guys?
Okay, so again,
in
college,
two brothers-in-law.
So it's funny. So in college, I never start anything, but I definitely finish it. A few times I've bumped people because you're drunk, you're slurring, whatever. And I've actually bumped people, and then they got mad at me, and they would yell at me. And I'm trying to apologize, I'm trying to take accountability, and they would just keep going. And I don't know why I do this, but the reflex is to throw my drink on them. That was in college.
Oh.
Now, post stabbing Cory, I'm more of I throw a tantrum and I remove myself. I make my point known, and we will go back and forth, and I remove myself. So I'm gonna say throw a tantrum and storm out.
All right, throw a tantrum and storm out. Scene 4 in Dallas. Would he say it to your face or talk behind your back? You all said?
Okay, so in Dallas, honestly,
hey Cory.
The thing is, I will always say it to your. I love Dallas. It's actually one of my favorite seasons. If you guys don't like the Real Housewives, start with Dallas. So the thing is if I can say it behind your back, I'll say it to your face. Like, I don't mince words. Like, if I have an issue with you, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna start a problem. But if there's a pattern, I will definitely say it to your face. And if I say it behind your back, I probably said it the first 2 times. But if you ask me, I will say it to your face. I'm an open book.
All right, so hands down, say it to the face.
Oh my God.
All right, and the last one. I wish this was easier to do. Okay, New York City. Would he kick people out of his house or slam a leg of choice to prove his point?
Okay, so the old Cory would just kick you out of my house, but nowadays I'm very like I live alone, so I'm very like protective of my peace. And the most peaceful place you have is your home, your sanctuary, your castle, your mansion. So I will slam something to prove your point.
All right. So did you guys get it right?
I show up with the receipts.
No, we did not get that one. That is incorrect. You really want to throw your leg? I mean, if you had something you
No,
could
that's what I said. Slam something to prove your points. That's throwing your leg.
Yeah, we got that right. We got that
we
right.
did get it right. I was drinking.
I think we got most of them right except for one. I think we missed number 2. That was it.
Oh, good, John. You were back. Great back. Look at that. He was writing them down.
All right.
See, John was ready to be secretary the whole time, but
let's give it a round of applause for Cory keeping it dramatic on the first season of The Real Housewives of Fort Lauderdale. All right, so that takes us through the Big D. We're at our final topic of the night.
So ready for the final topic?
It's going to be a quick roundtable discussion. Topic 3 is our personal or story or experience, and episode 3 is called "In My Life, Clothing is Always Optional." Ooh, and Cory, take us through topic number 3 without the echo.
All right, ready? So in my life, clothing is always optional. So being a man of leisure, I definitely enjoy frequenting a new beach. There is a level of tranquility and peace for me being nude. However, in society tends to not only sexualize, pervert the nature of nudity, especially in the non-sexual ways. For example, a mother breastfeeding her young woman being able to go topless at a regular public beach, or urinating behind a bush next to a park, not even a children's park. You can be considered a sex offender at a state park. So, is there a difference between nudity, sexuality, and perversion? And is there a best practice, or what is your preferred method, or when it comes to taking nudes of yourself?
All right, so
if that makes sense.
Remember, this is going to be 1 minute. You're going to get 1 minute on the clock before I hit that bell, and we're going to start with the person who lives in the center of it all, Mr. John Holt. So take us through. Clothing is always optional, and go.
Well, where I live, clothing is always optional. On I don't get naked that much unless I'm sunbathing and I don't want a tan line. I don't mind anyone else being naked. And as far as the gays and nudity, it's been very interesting for me. There was a nude naturist group, and I got invited to a party at their house. This was down in Fort Lauderdale in Miami. And I got invited over for a party, and you drop your all your clothes off before you go in. And in my mind, I'm being cynical. I'm like, this is going to turn into sex. That's how it's going to go. And, here we are naked, doing hors d'oeuvres, sitting around and talking. But by the end of the night, sex was happening. So I'm not sure with gay men that you could get naked and sex won't happen eventually. So, and I don't take that many naked pictures of myself for social media either. But I mean, I just take a picture, turn the camera around, take a picture. I don't know. I don't do anything special. I keep my face out of it. That's for sure.
So is it odd for you not to partake in it, but just to be surrounded by it?
No. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It doesn't bother me.
Okay. Let's go to David Hopkins. I feel like he has something to say about this.
Well, I mean, you and John Holt have been subjected to me at Sawmill before, so you already know that my point and my goal in life is to not give a fuck about anything. So, when it comes to nudity, it depends on the situation. I've been to the GNI parties, like John's discussing, and those are one situation. Being by the pool is another situation. Being in the trails is a different situation. I enjoy nudity in all the situations.
Yes.
I can be sexually nude. I can be just relaxing nude. It doesn't matter to me. When it comes to photography, I don't do that very often. I don't have a wide angle lens. So,
landscape.
So if we're trying to get you a gift card for a present, we should get you a gift card to Sawmill and not to like Macy's.
I can wear clothes occasionally. I have to for work, but yeah, I'm actually trying to plan a Sawmill trip maybe next month or two again.
All right. Now let's see. Is he naked all the time at home? Brian Peter, you're up.
Not at home really, but I actually do enjoy nude beaches. I like the European outlook on nudity, and when I travel, some of the best beaches, nude beaches in the world, Barcelona, Portugal, just anywhere I can be outdoors swimming. I enjoy being nude when I can. I think there's a time and place for sexual exploits outdoors, as long as it's not being done in front of kids or rudely in front of people who definitely don't want it. But if it's appropriate, I think that's fine. So, and in terms of selfies, I mean, who doesn't have a collection? I guess for when the time is.
Is there an art to taking the perfect nude selfie?
Angles and lighting. Yeah.
Angles and lighting.
Angles and lighting. Yeah.
All right, so everybody buy a ring light and send it over to Brian. All right, Randy Boo. Now I know you're never naked in that snow, but maybe in West Hollywood you were.
Did you not see his most recent Facebook story?
I saw. Jeez, David.
Which one? That was nothing. That was nothing.
It was only side cheek.
But I feel like, I mean, I've tried nude beach. I've tried, bathhouse. I've done, but it's not for me. I feel like I get too self-conscious. I get too shy when it comes to being naked. But even just go dancing was a little. I get too I feel part of the culture you grew up in and what religion, I guess, impacts how you see nudity and how comfortable a person can be in being nude. And I was never that type of person. And I give kudos to all the people that can do it. I've always been like, man, if I could have OnlyFans and make money, but I can't do it.
And is it odd for you if other people partake in that? Like, for instance, if all your friends have an OnlyFans or things like that?
Oh, no, but it's nice to see naked people around me. I don't mind, but I just can't be like fully frontal nude or like my ass hanging out. I'll be like semi-sexy naked and whatnot, but not all the way.
So
yeah,
if we were to get
a few ones too.
If we were to give you a phone to David Hopkins, what would he find in the last 10 pictures you've taken?
Probably my nephews. Just me hanging with the families. Nothing sexual lately. But that's if he checks Grindr, and that's a different story.
Okay. Find him on Grindr. All right, Marie, the art of the perfect nude.
Okay, well, the art of the perfect nude. Well, I don't know if I've taken a good nude, but I haven't had anybody send them back to me yet. So I'm doing okay
it's like the
so
joke.
far.
How's your head?
Yeah, right. There you go. So I do want to say, I don't know if I know that joke. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, what is
How's
that
your
joke?
head, Marie? And you're supposed to say no complaints.
Nobody will listen. Okay, my mom used to tell me that one. Probably why I tuned it out. All right, listen. So there's a difference between nudity, sexuality, and perversion. I think it's important that we never conflate nudity, sexuality, and perversion. That has to do with your own personal morals. I think my freedom ends where yours begins, as long as it doesn't harm you. It doesn't, as long as what you do doesn't harm me. We're not invading each other's spaces. Then do what pleases you. But nudity is different than sexuality, and they don't have to. They're a great part of it. I don't think. Unless you're into the clothes on thing, I want you to be nude, but it doesn't have to be the same issue. And that's what I've got to say.
And someone, let me sing for him. I want to break free.
Oh, it's not that kind of show. Okay.
I want to break free. Don't be coming for Randy's gig. You may have visited a nude beach or two before.
I only do nude beaches now. I have. I consider myself a nudist / consensual exhibitionist, kind of like what Brian was saying, only in a consensual setting, as long as people around me are okay with it. Definitely no kids. Don't want to traumatize anybody. What else? What was the question?
How's your head, Rossaroni?
I've had a lot of complaints.
What's the art of the perfect nude?
Oh, the arts of the perfect nude. Lighting a little bit of a add some artistry to it, make it kind of interesting. Can't just be like, that weird angle of like, that you constantly get from everybody on Grindr.
Do you prefer taking your own photos or someone and you stand in front of the camera and do the whole Titanic pose?
I've done both, but like the classy nudes. I think the
laying
classy
on the
nudes
bed with the sparkly pillows.
Actually, the classy nudes looked a lot better. I'm gonna say that it was done more professionally, so like the lighting made me look a lot better.
Ross totally has a reenactment of the Melania one in the limo with the diamonds.
All right.
Diamonds.
So Cory, we know you like to be nude, but tell us your final thoughts on nudity, sexuality, and perversion.
There's a delay. So it's my turn. Oh, David, I want you to go before me.
Oh, I'm the moderator, honey. I keep this train moving, but go right ahead.
It's your turn. Okay, so anyway, there's definitely a difference between being nude sexually, being nude spiritually, and being nude in a public, just being nude in general. So for me, I like to go to the nude beach. I love to do haul over. There is something magical about like just going in that water naked and letting Mother Nature like just absorb the negativity out of your pores. But then also like sexually, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with checking out guys or girls or whatever you're into. And what is it called? And just check them out. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's natural. The problem comes when it comes to infringing on somebody's right non-consensually, like you guys said before, or just perversion. Like, for example, one thing I posted on Facebook the other day was about wearing these masks now, like having a whole new appreciation for mothers not wanting to cover their children up when they're breastfeeding. And then a lot of people brought up the whole thing about oh, well, I don't want to see that. That's based off of sexual reasons. And I literally told them that, like, if you take something as natural as a mother feeding their child through their breast as nourishment, sexual, then that's called pedophilia, and you need to go see a psychiatrist. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm just saying that, like, that's just, that's what it is. And then also the secret to a good selfie, what I've learned is a ring light and a good iPhone.
And which one of those things do you own?
I'm done.
Damn.
Wait, the delay is still in it. The delay is still in it.
It's a slow boil.
Wait. Can you write it for me, please?
No, we're moving on. All right. Round of applause for Cory. He just killed the joke.
I'm trying.
You can find Cory at your local haul over nude beach on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
It worked last week.
But by the way, Randy, come to Sawmill. We'll get you over your shyness. No problem.
Oh, Randy. He's going to put you up in the presidential seat.
Randy, if you are a beautiful person, if you ever get like self-conscious, look to your left, look to your right, realize they don't care, and rock out with your cock out.
You'll just hang out with me.
No, I understand. I've
Fat
done
old
it
man.
before.
He doesn't want to rock out with his cock out, is what I think he's trying to say.
If you don't want to, then
all right. Well, remember, as a wise person once said, we're all born naked and the rest is drag. So with that said, we've come to the end of our show. We've come to our Gay Town poll. So who do you guys think won?
Beverly Hills.
Oh, the Real Housewives of the Amish.
I'd watch that show.
The original OC.
All right, let's
Atlanta, New York.
Let's find out. Or
Beverly Hills.
Let's see. He says Beverly Hills. What says our poll people? And the answer is...
Really?
Beverly Hills.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So every television channel and streaming service has its own brand of soapy reality shows. ABC is best known for The Bachelor, E! has Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Netflix has a growing library of guilty pleasure reality shows. For Bravo TV, the Real Housewives franchise, which began in 2006 and has spun off to many other different series. So Beverly Hills was number one by over 50%, followed by Atlanta, New York City, and Potomac tied. Do you guys feel that's correct?
Yeah.
Sure.
Did you call this genre trophy reality show?
They get a
So
back
let's
scratcher.
find out. Let's find out real quick what America actually voted. And this was actually done by IMDb, so it's legit. A poll. It wasn't some straight lady, little white lady, old lady, 60 years old voting on this. All right, so let's go ahead.
IMDb, right?
IMDb. All right, and so number 10 is Salt Lake City because it didn't exist when this poll was taken. So they are the newest Housewife franchise. Number 9 was DC. It was one season and canceled.
That was only one season. Yeah.
And that's because one of the housewives snuck into the White House, and that got them canceled. He was like, "Oh, I'm on the list. I'm on the list. Who's left on you? The DJ's list. Oh, sure, just walk right in." Yeah. So, and because
I just had to hear my own laughter all over.
Yeah, because I love hearing an echo. All right, so number 8 is
Auto Render's Insurance. Oh.
The wrong way.
15%,
Housewives of Miami, which is probably coming back. So that was number 8.
Benvenido, Miami.
All the Latinas and the Brazilian. Number 7 is Jersey, which I was very surprised. One of them went to
Didn't
jail.
the Jersey ones make a music video or something?
I thought they all have. at one
Number
point.
6 was OC, the original season that was founded, Orange County.
What is it, New York, Florida, or California?
Yeah, that's
Number
like a million.
5, if you've never watched Atlanta, you're in for a treat. There is so much drama on Atlanta.
That's a good
Atlanta. Number 4, I was
We
surprised.
did an episode
New
on
York
why drama
City.
is not a treat.
New York City, they've been around they were the second season ever founded. Number 3, very enjoyable as well, Potomac. They were afraid to do it because of DC, and Potomac really flew off. It's also another season that's really about people of color, and it's done very, very well. So it's number 3.
I don't care about the show, but that woman all the way to the right, I want her dress.
Number 2, I was very surprised. Dallas, one of the new ones, is number 2.
Dallas is good.
You can taste the gunpowder.
Cowgirls, which means you guys
I love
got it
Dallas.
right. Beverly Hills, number 1.
Wow. Oh, Lisa. She's crazy. Nina,
And I
you're
believe,
You know what it
Lisa
is?
Vanderpump finally left, I believe.
So you know what it is about Beverly Hills? Why it's so good is because the other Housewife franchise try to act rich, but these women are actually rich.
So and they got 2 shows out of it because Lisa got her own personal show out of this. So congratulations
This
to
month,
our
Karen
great
haircut.
couple, everybody. All right, so we've come to the end of our show. Woo! So we're gonna go around the room and get a good night, America, from everybody. So let's start off with a good night from Mr. John Holt.
Good night, everybody. And those clips from the Housewives made me so stressed and anxious. I couldn't possibly watch those shows. Too much drama.
Right.
All right, a good night from Randy Boo.
Good night, guys. Remember, if you think you're always right, you're never gonna learn. Good night.
But you're always right, Randy.
No, man.
All right, good night from David.
Save the drama for my mama. So she's dead. She don't care. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Enjoy life. That's all there is.
All right, Brian, are you gonna make Marie crack up too with your good night?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say good night, everyone. And if you're gonna like me, I'm gonna go to bed listening to prostitution whore in my head all night, just playing
A
on
prostitution what?
whore.
Prostitution whore.
Translation, he's going to take a nude selfie before bed. Perfect. All right, Marie, a good night from Marie.
Well, after finding that news out, good night, and please send me that selfie just so I know, more about
For science.
Yeah, just for research purposes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And can we give a round of applause for Marie, one of my new hosts? Woo! You boys, she's keeping up. Great. Thank you for being here, Marie. We love having you here.
Thank
And
you.
I think he's trying to compete with between Randy and Brian, Rossaroni.
Oh.
I think I'm stuck.
There's an app for that.
If you're hearing this, please send help. I live alone.
And on that, he falls asleep and wishes good night. Let's give a huge round of applause for the Real Houseboy of Fort Lauderdale, coming soon to you in 2025. Let's give it up for Cory Gordon and his Echo.
Yay!
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. I've literally done everything. I bought a Wi-Fi extender. I actually got an Ethernet cable, and I was good last week, but this week I don't know what was going on. But thank you guys for being so patient with me. Good night to everyone. Remember, just to listen to each other more. Try to understand why somebody feels the way they feel. Doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but just always try to be like, okay, well, this is what they feel. Am I getting something wrong, or am I right? And sometimes you're wrong, and sometimes you're right, and there's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, good night, guys.
And if you would like to buy some Cory Gordon branded merchandise from the Real Houseboy of Florida, you can buy yourself a banana or an eggplant. He will hand sign it and ship it to you directly. So I am David Quiñones, your moderator. Next week is our DJ Diva, Power Infinity, spinning in here on Gay Town Hall. And with that, have a good night, everybody.
Bye.